Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, men who act like children of all ages, my basement's proud to present to you the greatest podcast that you didn't want or ask for, the MoY Ploy. All right. Week 13 is in the books, and it didn't go how I wanted it to. In fact, I got my ass kicked. Frickin' Ray Rat. It started off great. Josh Jacobs wasn't doing much. Then in the Thursday Thanksgiving games, Jalen Hurts wasn't doing much. A.J. Brown wasn't doing much. And then in absolute garbage time, when they had no chance to win, Jalen Hurts connects to A.J. Brown for not one, but 2 touchdowns. Feels fucking bad. All right, that's fine. I've got Puka Nacua coming up. Oh, well, guess what? Devontae Adams catches 2 touchdowns. Cool. Oh, yeah, and Javonte Williams, they could have thrown the ball to anyone, anybody. Dak throws it to Javonte Williams. Cool. Every single one of Ray's players, except for the kicker, who got 15 points, and Keenan Allen, and like one other, got a touchdown. Feels bad. But we aren't here to talk about me. I'm just kidding. We are. But we're not here to talk only about me. We're going to go through all of the matchups this week, including Maddie the Fraud, HR Southside, Toby, up against Brent Van Conyu, somehow still in it. These teams were 5-7 on Brent's side and 6-6 on Matt's side. After this week, they are both 6-7, both of them still alive in the playoff hunt. Now, if Matt had won that game, I would not be in control of my own destiny for the playoff hunt. So I got lucky there. So I do appreciate Matthew shitting the bed. Thank you, Matt. Then, in the next game, we have Peter Cheater Pigu Hot Sizzle O'Donnell up against Eddie the Kamara Sutra Don't Call Me Sweaty Disler, who is fighting to keep his playoff hopes alive. Peter Cheater Pigu Hot Sizzle O'Donnell does take down the Sweaty Disler by 10 points, kicking Eddie out of the playoffs. Not mathematically possible. If he had won, he would still be in it. And if I'm not, he would definitely still be in it if he had won. Not great chances of making it, but still alive. Now he is officially dead. Rest in piss, Eddie. Rest in piss. Then we had Brett Tet up against Todd Harris. My dad continues his trend of backing his ass into the playoffs despite scoring the fewest points in the entire league. It galls me that he is ahead in the standings. I have the second most points in the league. He has dead last. Oh. All right. Yeah, everyone who could have shit the bed did shit the bed. Golly, it was a who's who of bed shitting. That is truly impressive. Wow. Looking at the scores there. He could have started literally his entire bench, and his entire bench would have done better than pretty much any starter that he had. It's pretty funny. Oh my god. All right. And Brett continues his dominance of the league. His team is really looking to shape up into a true playoff monster, unlike the Baltimore Ravens. Yikes, what is going on out there? So that's all I have about the wrap-up. We are going to look forwards and look to the playoff picture. All right, let's get this shared up. Boop-a-dee-doop. In dead last place, Pigu, congratulations. You do have a chance to leapfrog Eddie, so that would be a sweet taste of revenge for you, I'm sure, to getting a win this week, putting Eddie down into the basement. Then we've got Eddie in 7th, Brent Tent in 6th place, who is about 80 points behind Matt in tiebreakers. Matt in 5th place, who is about 60 points behind me in tiebreakers. Myself in 4th place. Todd in 3rd place. Ray 2nd. And with the most points scored by about 150 almost is Brett Tet. He is really starting to pull away from the rest of the league here. At one point, him and Matt were close to tied, and Matt is now full 200 points behind Brett in points scored. Think about that. Absolute domination from the luckiest beaver that we know, Brett Tet. Congratulations, Brett. Soak it up, because you are absolutely going to choke in the first round of the playoffs. Now, let's go ahead and look at this week's upcoming matchups. And then I'm going to paint a picture of the playoffs. So, week 14, on we go. There is no doubt in my mind who is game of the week this week. First up, Brett Tet against the Ray Rat Mart Squirts. This game is completely meaningless. Even if Brett loses and Ray wins, there is no chance that Ray leapfrogs Brett in the standings. You two go have your circle jerk fun. Doesn't bother me. The only way that Brett could lose that is if he benches his entire team and Ray's team scores 200 points. So Brett, if you want to give it a shot, give Ray a real chance, see if he puts up 200 again. Now, that only would affect the seedings. Peter Cheater Pigu Hot Sizzle O'Donnell up against Maddie, Toby, Southside, HR. This game has major implications. If Peter wins, Matt is eliminated. If Matt wins, he could still get into the playoffs if I lose or if my dad loses. Either one. So basically, if Matt wins, I think he's in. Matt is in a win and in situation. Is that right? Yes. Matt is win and in, because if I lose, he takes my place. At 7 and 7, I go to 6 and 8. He leapfrogs me. If my dad loses, he has the worst tiebreakers in the entire league by a significant margin. He is a full 80 points behind Matt. He would have to outscore Matt by 80 points. Now, seeing as how well Matt's team has been playing as of late, that is entirely possible. However, it is unlikely. So I'm calling Matt is win and in, because you would have to score very low points and get a win in order to not leapfrog my dad. Now, Eddie against Brent. This is another interesting matchup. Brent is not win and in. Brent needs a few things to break his way. Brent needs Matt to lose. He needs my dad to lose or myself to lose. So if I am not mistaken, if Brent wins and Matt loses, Brent should be in, unless my dad outperforms him in his loss by 60 points. Very unlikely. So I'm going to call Brent. Matt loses, Brent wins, Brent is in. So you guys are starting to see that my dad's 3rd place standing is not safe at all. Neither is my 4th place, which is why we have, for the 3rd week in the row, a Corrupt Commissioner Game of the Week. This game is going to be hyper important. If I win, I am in. If my dad wins, he is in. Both of us are winning in. Now, there is a scenario where I lose and my dad wins, and all 3 of us get in. There is also a scenario where I win and my dad loses, and all 3 of us, and both of us get in. There is also a scenario where I win, my dad loses, and we both still get in. If I lose and both Brent and Matt both lose, I still get in. If my dad loses, so again, if I win and my dad loses and Brent and Matt both lose, he is still in. So this is a win and get in, but it is not a lose and get eliminated. Both of our matchups both of our fates will then depend on Brent and Matt and whether or not they both lose. So the Harris boys are both still alive. That is one of the more interesting final week playoff pictures that we have had here on the MoY Ploy, where there are truly 4 teams all in the mix. Now, Brent, I'm not sure he can comprehend that, as this is the latest he's ever been alive in the playoff picture in a season by a wide margin. And I'm not sure if Brett Tetet's ever been. I don't think Brett's ever played this well in our fantasy league. Good for him. Ray Rat, he's used to being near the top. Fuck you, man. I'm so sick of your shit. I'm also so sick of having the second most points scored and being like barely crawling into the playoffs. And I have the second most points against by 10. And there's only one manager semi-close, and that's Brett. Third in points against? No. Eddie is right there as well. Brett and Eddie are like 70 points behind me. And meanwhile, my dad, with I think the fewest points for in the league, yes, confirmed, and close to the fewest points against. I think he's third in points against. Only Matt, the fraud, who has a losing record despite having more points for than against. MoY. And Brent, who also has more points for than against. MoY. Both of them are barely. I actually have more points against than for. That's wild. Oh my god. I hate this game so much sometimes. Oh, life is pain. Anyways, that is the playoff picture. It is going to be an absolutely exquisite final week of football, boys. I cannot wait. We do need to talk before the sign-off. We do need to talk about the MoY picture. Front runners for MoY, obviously, Brett Tetet. Now, what I think could hold him back is that his defense simply wasn't there this year. To lap the league by 200 points in points for, but to only be 9-4, that is, it's not the level of dominance that you would expect from a team who's outscoring everybody by so much. And the defense is clearly lacking in the defensive compartment. So I don't even think Rat, he might get a couple pity votes from his Cuck Chair fan club of Brent and no one else. And I think the true MoY contenders, after Brent, who does have some, Brett Tetet, who does have some holes in his game, honestly, non-biased take, I think we have to give it up for Todd, the MoY God. There is a very real chance that he goes back-to-back MoY if he makes the playoffs. If he makes the playoffs, scoring the fewest points in the league, I don't know how you keep him out of the MoY conversation. This is the exact formula that won him the first ever MoY when the MoY was created back in like 2000 and I don't know. Was it 19? Have we done 6 MoY Ploy seasons now of like with the MoY being the award? Huh. Because I think there was I know he won the league for the first ever year the league was created. He won. He hasn't won since, And I know he won the MoY Award the first year that it was created, and he just won again last year. That would be interesting. That would be interesting. And of course, it wouldn't be a real show if I don't bring up myself. If I manage to scrape and claw my way back from, I think at one point I was 3-6, to get into the playoffs, then I don't know what MoY material is. I have overcome more adversity than anyone else in this league. If I make the playoffs, I would very much appreciate your vote for MoY. Well, boys, I think that's about it. Do I really want to consider Matt for MoY? Do I really want to consider Brent for MoY? Like, honestly, no. It just feels gross. It just feels gross. It feels like drafting that old crusty veteran in the 3rd round. It's not exciting, and I'm not going to do it. That's all I got for this week. I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.